My name is Antoinette, Nettie for short. My friends, family, and colleagues call me that. I came from a privileged family, and when I say privileged, it means that our generational wealth runs the financial and socio-economic status of our family. I grew up having a comfortable lifestyle where my needs and wants are provided. But at the same time, my parents taught me the value of money and generosity. They made me aware of the privilege that I have and they taught me how to use that to help those who are in dire need. Hence, my family owned a hospital and ran a foundation dedicated to helping people with disabilities. All my life, I volunteered for different causes that champion the lives of the underprivileged. I engage in charity work and other fundraising activities. I feel like this is my lifelong purpose. To be of help to other people. I want to share what I have with them because I may never know their struggles, but I know how a simple help can ease those struggles, and I want to be that person whom they can rely on. So, when I married Louis, I knew that his family was not as well off as mine, but I loved him deeply and was determined to support him and his family in any way I could. We met at our hospital. He went there to seek out some support and assistance for his disabled sister. The doctors in our hospital insisted on bringing the sister in to check her up, but Louis said they can't do it because they don't have the means of transportation that can bring her to the hospital. Instead, he insisted on getting the cash incentives himself so that they can buy her welfare, but the doctors insisted on checking his sister first before giving him the assistance for verification. And I felt like Louis was being genuine and the sorrow in his eyes was very evident. So I stepped in and handled the situation myself. When I looked at him, his eyes began to simmer in tears. My heart broke because I could truly see the struggles in them, so I granted him the cash assistance and he was so happy about it. I hope this will help your sister. I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. We value lives here, but some people take advantage of the chance and lie their way in just to get a hold of cash assistance. I'm so sorry. He smiled at me. It was so captivating and mesmerizing.
Thank you so much, Madam Antoinette. I understand the protocol and thank you so much for helping me out.
I was kind of taken aback by how he knew my name because I don't introduce my name that way to the people I work with. I am Nettie. You're welcome, but how did you know my full name? I could see that he was slightly panicked.
I've read it here. Yes. Here. There it is.
He quickly pointed to the registration paper and looked at me again. I wasn't that convinced, but the way he looked at me was truly mesmerizing, and I never knew that little encounter will change our lives forever. Louis kept on coming back to the hospital for assistance weekly, and I found myself waiting for him every week as well. We talked every time he comes, and I enjoy every second of it. And little did I know that the little giggles and giddy moments made me fall in love with him. And after several encounters, he finally asked me out and I said yes. We dated and my parents were so fond of him. They grew to like him and they even treated him as if he is their own. Louis is such a good, responsible, and dedicated man, especially when it comes to his family. And that's what I love the most about him. I asked him if I could meet his sister, but at first he was hesitant, but later on he agreed. The first time I met Alexa, Louis's physically disabled sister, my heart went out to her. I told my parents about her situation, and that is why my parents and I decided to fund her medication and treatments to ensure she had the best care possible, and this fund is applicable for a lifetime. So Louis and I dated for over a year. We are both happy and content with our relationship. He worked at the hospital and I helped him with his needs and supported in all the things that he did, and he does the same things to me as well. I get to meet his family as well. They are so good and kind to me as they welcomed me with open arms into their life. On top of that, they seem to be in a comfortable life now that Lewis has started working at the hospital. So I am so grateful that I got to help him in some little ways. And then we decided to get married. Lewis proposed to me and I exulted a resounding yes. He is the love of my life and I couldn't imagine spending the rest of my days without him by my side. Hence, for 5 long years, I did everything I could to ease their suffering and improve their quality of life. Little did I know that this act of kindness would eventually become the catalyst for a shocking revelation. As we spent 5 years together, I saw how the financial and socio-economic status of Lewis changed over time. They were able to build a new home and open 2 businesses, but they refused to have Alexa get treated by a doctor that specializes in her disability. There was a growing suspicion in me, but I chose to stay silent because I might be wrong and I can't just accuse someone of doing something bad. One day, my in-laws Bia and Frank decided to go on a trip to Europe for 3 months, leaving Alexa in our care, especially me. They brought her here while sitting in a wheelchair. Initially, I thought nothing of it and assumed it was a simple matter of trust. However, the moment they left, everything took a dramatic turn. I was cleaning the kitchen and I left Alexa in the living room until I heard a sudden and loud sound. My impulse made me run towards the living area in fear of Alexa collapsing or getting hurt. But I was shocked by the scene that I saw. Alexa, who had been pretending to be physically disabled all along, suddenly stood up and said to me, "Time to go." I was utterly bewildered and asked her what she meant. That's when the truth spilled out like a torrent. I stood there completely dumb to what just happened. Is this a miracle? But she grabbed my hand and took me to the car. I was so shocked because she was the one driving. "Alexa, I don't understand. What is happening? You're walking." My heart started to pump so fast that I could even feel it exploding. "Shh! We will get to the question and answer part later. Just sit there." I don't know what to do. It is so confusing until we arrived at a small house and she tearfully confessed that her parents had been exploiting her disability to swindle money from my parents' foundation. They had forced her to act bedridden and dependent for years, all to gain sympathy and financial assistance. The money they received was not used for her well-being, but instead, they used it to build their business empire. Alexa showed me 2 stores that are under construction, and I couldn't believe she is standing and walking. "Antoinette, there's something I need to tell you. It's about my condition." I was shocked again because she said those words with tears in her eyes. "What is it, Alexa? You can tell me anything. What's wrong? Because I'm starting to go crazy with everything." She took a deep breath and looked me in the eye. "The truth is, I'm not physically disabled, Antoinette. I can walk, but my parents forced me to pretend otherwise. From the start, I'm a completely normal person. My parents orchestrated and planned everything from the moment Lewis went to your hospital the first time you met." I was so shocked and bewildered. I could feel my heart racing. "What? But why would they do that? I don't understand." "They made me act bedridden to exploit money from your parents' foundation. They used your family's kindness to fund their business, and it's been going on for years, and this is another one of their business. I tried to stop them from telling lies because it was getting bigger and bigger day by day. Guilt is swallowing me whole, and they don't even have the conscience and heart to stop and change their ways." I could feel the sun in my heart. It feels like I was betrayed for a long time, and I could feel the anxiousness creeping in me, and it feels like I don't even know who my husband truly is. Does Lewis know all of these things?" Alexa nodded in response, and I clenched my fist out of anger. "Our parents forced him to pretend as well, to make you fall in love and get money from you. I never know that he will marry you. It just went out of control." I was so stunned by what Alexa was telling me. I can't believe this. How could they do such a thing? How could they deceive us like that? Alexa wiped her tears and looked at me with determination. They manipulated everyone, including you, making you all believe I was helpless. They made me feel guilty, telling me it was for the family's well-being, but I couldn't bear it anymore. I'm tired of living this lie. My anger rises again, and all I ever wanted to do right now is to take revenge. This is unacceptable, Alexa. They have exploited your vulnerability and my family's trust. We have to do something about this. That's why I told you the truth. I can't pretend anymore. I want to be free from their lies, and I want them to face the consequences of what they have done. We will expose them, Alexa. We'll make sure the truth comes out and they won't get away with it. You deserve to live your life without this burden. Alexa moved towards me and held my hand. Thank you, Antoniette. I knew I could trust you. I have seen how kind and caring you and your family are, and I couldn't bear to deceive you any longer. You are not alone in this anymore, Alexa. We will face it together, and I promise you, they will regret the day they took advantage of us. She gave me a smile through her tears. I feel so relieved now that I have told you. You have always treated me like family, and I'm so grateful for that. You are family, Alexa, and from now on, we will protect each other. No more lies, no more deceit. We will make things right. My heart sank as I realized the depth of their deception and betrayal. They had manipulated my family's goodwill for their selfish gain, and I knew I couldn't let them get away with it. With Alexa's help, we hatched a plan to expose Bia and Frank. We fabricated a story about her being rushed to the hospital, needing their immediate attention to sign documents for cash assistance. As money-hungry as them, of course, they would travel a continent just to get back home to get the money. And yes, the couple fell for our ruse, and they hurriedly flew back from Europe believing their daughter was in dire need. In their minds, they were so proud of Alexa for doing a great job in acting so that they can get more money. When they arrived at the hospital, they were met not only by me and Alexa, but also by my parents, police officers, and lawyers who were prepared to take them down legally. The moment of reckoning had arrived. The scene was tense and intense as the evidence of their deception was laid before them. Bia, Frank, Lewis, we need to talk. Alexa has told me everything, and I can't believe the extent of your lies and deception. Bia, my mother-in-law was feigning innocence. I don't know what you're talking about, Antoniette.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. We have done nothing wrong. We rushed our trip just to be here. We were concerned about our daughter.
Cut the act. Alexa revealed the truth. She's not physically disabled, and you forced her to pretend for years just to exploit money from my family's foundation.
Is this true, Alexa?
Yes, Lewis. I couldn't bear to see you act like a monster just to please our twisted parents. I'm sorry I didn't tell you earlier that I'm revealing the truth, but I believe it was for the best. They took advantage of your kindness too, Lewis. They manipulated all of us to fund their business ventures with the money meant for those who genuinely needed help. And yes, you know that, but you didn't even bother to tell me earlier because you were so scared of them. I couldn't even look you in the eye now because it seems like you are not my husband. It was just a little help. We needed the money to support the family business. They tried to defend themselves.
We never thought it would go this far. We were desperate.
Desperate or not, what you did was illegal and morally reprehensible. You not only exploited my family, but also exploited Alexa, your daughter.
Can we stop this, Mom, Dad? Just admit your crimes.
I just couldn't go on living this lie anymore. I wanted to be honest with all of you. So I called my lawyer and he stepped forward. We have brought a lawyer to explain the lengths and consequences of your actions. You need to face the reality of what you have done. The lawyer cleared his throat.
Bia and Frank, what you have done is a serious crime. You committed fraud, manipulation, and embezzlement. Exploiting a charitable foundation is a severe offense with significant legal consequences.
Can't we settle this among ourselves? We're family after all.
The lawyer shook his head. I'm afraid it's beyond that now. This is a criminal matter and justice must be served. You not only stole from a charitable organization, but also manipulated and psychologically harmed your daughter. The court will decide the appropriate punishment for your actions. We didn't think it would come to this. We're sorry, Alexa, Louis, and Antoinette. We didn't mean for any of this to happen.
Sorry isn't enough. You need to face the consequences of your actions and understand the pain you have caused. Alexa deserves justice, and my family deserves justice too.
I can't believe I didn't see this sooner. I can't believe I didn't protect Alexa. I was a coward.
They deceived and controlled all of us, but now we'll make sure they're held accountable for what they have done. My in-laws were humiliated as their web of lies unraveled, leaving them exposed and vulnerable. They were confronted with the consequences of their actions and the pain they had inflicted upon my family. As the reality of their crimes sank in, Bea, Frank, and Louis were taken into custody by the police. The consequences of their actions were becoming painfully apparent, and they were left to face the legal system for the harm they had caused. It was a humbling and humiliating experience, but it was a necessary step towards justice for Alexa and my family. Also, for the first time, with my voice steady and firm, I demanded that they not only repay the money they had fraudulently obtained, but also pay it back double. It was a symbolic act of retribution for all the suffering they had caused to both my family and Alexa. As they reluctantly agreed to my demand, I could see the shame in their eyes, the realization that they had been caught and their nefarious plans foiled left them utterly defeated. The revenge was complete, but it wasn't about revenge alone. It was about justice for Alexa, who had been guilted into playing a role she never wanted. It was about standing up against the exploitation and manipulation, ensuring that my family's goodwill would never again be taken advantage of. From that day forward, Alexa was finally free to live her life on her terms, no longer bound by her parents' lies and deceit. And as for Bea and Frank, they would forever be reminded of the day they faced the humiliating consequences of their actions. A bitter reminder of the price they paid for their greed and heartlessness. In the aftermath of the revelation, my in-laws faced not only the legal repercussions of their actions, but also the consequences of their shattered family relationship. Their deceit had irreparably damaged the trust and love between them and their daughter, leaving a deep rift that might never heal. As Alexa continued to live with us, she flourished in the newfound freedom she had never experienced before. With genuine support and care from my family, she learned to embrace her abilities and talents, growing into a confident and independent young woman. She pursued her dreams, knowing that she was capable of achieving anything she set her mind to without the burden of her parents' manipulative schemes. For Louis and me, the journey was far from easy. The revelation had strained our marriage as he struggled to come to terms with the extent of his parents' deception. However, with time, understanding, and therapy, we worked through our issues and emerged stronger as a couple. We became even more united, knowing that we had each other's backs and were committed to creating a better future together. Despite the initial humiliation and shame they endured, my in-laws remained stubborn and unrepentant. They refused to acknowledge the pain they had caused, instead blaming everyone else for their downfall. Their once thriving business suffered a significant blow as their deceitful practices were brought to light, tarnishing their reputation in the community. However, they still clung to their pride, unwilling to accept the gravity of their actions. The wounds they had inflicted on their daughter and my family would not heal easily, if at all. They had lost not only financial stability but also the trust and love of their children. As the months passed, it became clear that their business was on the brink of collapse. It was the direct result of their unethical practices catching up with them. I watched as their empire crumbled, knowing that they were reaping what they had sown. Yet, despite the satisfaction of seeking justice served, I couldn't help but feel a tinge of empathy for them. Their daughter Alexa had shown me the weight of guilt she carried, knowing that she was also complicit in the deception. Albeit unwillingly, she still struggled with the feelings of responsibility for her parents' actions, grappling with the guilt that was installed in her. We did what we could to support Alexa through therapy and counseling, helping her come to terms with her past and teaching her that she was not to blame for her parents' choices. It was a slow healing process, but we were committed to standing by her side every step of the way. In the end, while their business may have collapsed and their reputation shattered, my in-laws remained unapologetic. They retreated from our lives, unable to face a reality they had created for themselves. It was a bitter end for a family that once seemed unbreakable, but it was the consequence of their actions. As for me, I found renewed sense of purpose in helping those who truly needed support and care. My family's foundation expanded its reach, touching the lives of more people with disabilities and providing them with the resources and opportunities they deserved. The experience with my in-laws only strengthened my determination to make a positive impact in the world. In the end, the revenge I sought was not to humiliate my in-laws, but to expose the truth and seek justice for the exploited and manipulated. It was a journey of painful revelations, but it also became a path of redemption and growth for all of us involved. Life moved on, and we found solace in the love and support we provided for Alexa, who blossomed into a beacon of strength and resilience. And for my family, the scars of that tumultuous period remained. But we emerged from the ordeal with a stronger bond and deeper appreciation for the values that truly mattered: truth, compassion, and the unwavering commitment to do what's right.